Hi Diamond Bar, my name is Andy Williams, and today we're going to be making some light up mason jars. So before we get started, let's talk about our supplies. So what you're going to need for today is a mason jar. I recommend that you use at least a pint size. So you could always make a bigger one than this, but pint size would be great. You are going to need some tissue paper. I've chosen 3 different colors here, but it's up to you on whatever colors you want to choose. You're also going to need some scissors, and then you are going to need some Mod Podge and a paintbrush. All right, so let's get started making our craft today. So you're going to want to go ahead and grab your mason jar. And then the first thing you're going to want to do is grab your tissue paper. So like I said, I selected 3 different colors of tissue paper. And you're going to want to cut this into some squares. I chose to cut it into squares because I think I like the way it looks. I have seen ones where people cut some zigzags out, so maybe something a little wavy like this. And the purpose of doing this is because you're actually going to attach it or adhere it to your mason jar. So it's really, you can be as creative as you want to be. Like I said, I actually like doing squares or rectangles in my case because they're not all perfect. I actually pre-cut some. So let's go ahead and get started for assembling. Like I said, I pre-cut these. If you notice, they are different sizes. There is nothing perfect about this, which makes this a really easy and fun craft. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is once you already have your tissue paper all cut out, you're gonna wanna dip your paintbrush in some Mod Podge. And I like to go ahead and just kind of paint it on there a little bit. An area that I'm working with, and I kind of take one area at a time. Then I'm going to take my tissue paper and I'm going to stick it right to where I just laid down that Mod Podge. I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm going to go right over that. I'm going to continue moving on to the next section. And when you're applying your tissue paper, it is okay that they overlap. And I kind of like to, I laid this one, I'll call it vertically, so I'm gonna put this one horizontally. And I just want it to stick there a little bit. And I'm gonna get a little more Mod Podge. And again, I wanna kind of go all the way around, so I do wanna keep it close to the top, and I'm gonna do the same thing as I get close to the bottom. So I'm gonna continue filling this in. And again, I just put this, a little bit of Mod Podge down so it sticks. I'm gonna take my tissue paper, I'm gonna place it on there, and then I'm gonna grab my Mod Podge and I'm gonna continue to go right over. So I'm gonna continue to do this all the way through the whole mason jar. And like I said, it's okay if this overlaps a little. You do want to make sure that you're covering the whole mason jar. So you don't really want to leave any gaps, otherwise it kind of defeats the purpose. And when you go to put your light in there, you'll see right through it, through the mason jar. Now I chose, let's talk a little bit about this tissue paper. I have 2 light colors. I chose this little light blue, and then I also chose a white with a pattern on it. But you really can choose whatever colors you want. To be honest, if I was gonna go back and redo this, I may choose something a little bit darker instead of that light teal. So I chose 2 light colors. I may have actually should have chosen 2 darker colors, but it still looks really pretty here. So you can see the finished product when you continue all the way around. You can see what it looks like. I mean, you can still see the difference, and it looks really great, especially when it's at night and you turn your light on. So going back to our jar, you want to continue to go all the way around, and so we'll continue this process. And we want to make sure to get all the edges top to bottom. And I just randomly pick mine. So again, you can be as creative as you want. It's whatever direction you want this to be. And this is really fun and simple. Let's see, I'm gonna put one of these white ones over here. Do want to say, once you're completely done, you want to make sure that you're going to let this dry as well. overnight. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, you want to complete till you go all the way around. Once you're done covering your entire mason jar, I like to go back and just kind of smooth everything out. Like in case I accidentally put too much Mod Podge someplace, I don't want to leave that on there because I want it to dry even. So I just kind of go over and smooth everything out. Make sure I didn't miss any spots because I can always go back and add more tissue paper. And then we're gonna let this dry overnight. So then I'm just gonna put this off to the side. We'll let this dry. And then the next day, you're gonna get something that looks like this. So it's completely dry, and then you could go ahead and add your light. There are all kinds of lights. I like battery operated because I don't like to use an open flame, but that's up to you. So you can put maybe like a tea light in this. They have battery operated ones, but I chose to kind of use this little twinkly light, and it's really fun. So I just put that in there, and I can put this anywhere I want in my house. This is a great craft to do for kids, for teens. Let them pick their colors, and it makes for a great nightlight. So thank you for joining us. Keep crafting, Diamond Bar.